It's another freezer cooking day. Come along with me. I did not do a grocery haul. This grocery list was partly Aldi, partly Walmart, but I think my total for everything was over maybe $110, $111. That did include dog food. I put that in there because that's $20 worth, you know. Anyways, guys, okay, this is a really long video, so settle in, get your cup of coffee, grab your notepad to take notes, and here we go. Okay, guys, welcome back to another freezer meal prep bulk cooking day with me or whatever. I'm going to try and make this video a little bit more condensed and just show you kind of in sections what I've done. I did not do a grocery haul. I will tell you this grocery trip was half Aldi, half Walmart. Total, I think I spent $111. So that just gives you a rough idea, but that includes a $20 bag of dog food. Speaking of which, Hagrid out. Hagrid, get out. Thank you, baby. So anyway, really quick, I just want to show you what I'm hoping to get accomplished in this cooking section. Bagel breakfast sandwiches, I'm hoping to get 24. I would like to get anywhere between 6 to 10 breakfast burritos. I know that's an odd number, but I'll explain later. Same thing for the breakfast egg cups. I would like anywhere between 6 and 10. I'm going to do some chocolate chip pancakes and some plain pancakes. So those are our breakfasts I'm going to try to do. I saw someone make their own chicken taquitos. So I've got some small tortillas I'm going to do for that. I'm going to do a big bag of long grain brown rice. I'm going to do a tater tot casserole, maybe one or two. Make a bunch of tuna croquettes to freeze. Do an unstuffed bell pepper casserole, chicken, potato, green bean crock pot. I'll show you it's one of my husband's favorites and it is such an easy just dump and go thing. Cheeseburger casserole. I have a question mark. I'm not sure if I have all the ingredients for that. I got to check that. So for my desserts, I'm just going to do some peanut butter cookies, chocolate chip cookies, double chocolate cookies, brownie bites. And I have a whole bunch of lemons that are starting to look a little bit soft. And if I have all the ingredients, I'll make some lemon squares. Now, disclaimer, all these cookies I'm going to make, guys, I totally cheated. I bought the mixes to do them with. So sorry for the messy pantry. So I'm just going to mix all these up, make some nice big soft cookies and brownies, wrap them up individually and put them in our freezer. We like to have that in the evening. It keeps us from going and getting ice cream or whatever. So, hello Hagrid. Okay, so let me show you what I have started so far. Hold on. Okay, so I decided to go ahead and get my rice on. I do crock pot my rice. I know it looks all weird, but this is the recipe. I've been doing it for a while. It's a whole bag of rice, which is about, I don't know, 4 cups of long grain, 5 cups of water, 2 teaspoons of salt, 2 tablespoons of butter, and parchment paper. Set it on top, the parchment paper just over the water, and then turn it on for 2.5 hours on high. So I knew I was going to be in the kitchen cooking for 2.5 hours probably. So I thought, you know what, I'm not even going to time it. I just know that here in a couple hours it'll be done. I also decided to get all of my ground turkey going. This is probably about 3 pounds. Just a little tip, guys, because I do separate up my meat. For basic seasonings, I do salt, pepper, a couple of onions, and a little bit of garlic. So that's a great base for whether you're going to make taco meat, put it in spaghetti sauce and add some Italian seasonings, or just throw it into a soup or a stew. So I don't overly season, but I do season. And the onion and the garlic definitely help. Of course, you could omit that if you don't like onion or garlic. So while that was also cooking, I baked. This is a pound of turkey bacon. It doesn't look like much, but I've chopped it all up. Baking it was so much easier. This is going to be for a bunch of the breakfast stuff. And I have mixed up a whole lot of pancake mix. I know this looks weird, but I thought, you know what? What the heck, we're going to put chia seeds in it. We're going to add a little protein to our pancakes. I'm going to make some plain and some with my chocolate chips. So I have my baking station all ready to go. I've got my rice in the crock pot. I've got all my meat cooking on the stove. All about multitasking right this minute, you guys. Okay, so I'm going to keep cooking and I will update you here shortly. Okay, so I got my pancakes all done. I also kind of clean as I go. I know that seems kind of counterintuitive when you're freezer cooking and you are just like messing up your whole kitchen, but I'll show you kind of what I do, guys. I just wash and rinse everything and let it sit here on a towel or a drying rack, and then kind of as I go on to the next recipe, I pull from my pile of dishes. So I'm more or less washing and reusing the exact same dishes. So it kind of helps me a little bit. So as you can see, we've got our chocolate chip pancakes and our just plain chia seed pancakes. I'm going to put these in freezer bags, get them into the freezer. Let's see over here. My meat is already done. I think I'm going to set some of it aside in a Ziploc baggie just to have, I always have a couple of Ziploc baggies of just plain ground meat in the freezer. And then I'm going to work on getting the tater tot casserole put together. I can't do the unstuffed bell peppers until the rice is ready. So I think I'm going to do the tater tot casserole next. and then put together the crock pot bag of the chicken, potato, and green bean. So I will show you what that looks like afterwards. I may have to hold off on doing the taquitos until tomorrow because that chicken needs to cook in the crock pot. So anyways, I'll see what I can get done, and if I feel like it, maybe I'll tackle the tuna croquettes. So I'm going to keep going. A little tip of mine, guys, I definitely reuse my freezer bags, only if they have not contained any type of meat. So if all they've had is breakfast muffins in them or wrapped burritos, I definitely do not throw that away. I try to cut down on just excessive use of, you know, foil and plastic goods. So if they've only had things like that in them, I open them up, I wash them out with soap, hot water, and sometimes a little drop of bleach just to make sure. I let them air dry, and that's what I'll put breakfast items in again. So reuse those freezer bags, ladies. Save yourself a few bucks. Okay, guys, so really quick, here are the 2 tater tot casseroles. I did them in these smaller pans this time because these make good, like, quick weekend lunches things. And also, this is sort of a cheap meal for us at our house, and we don't need a massive 9x13 pan of this. So this will feed each of us, you know, like once for lunch or whatever. Quick thing, my version of a slightly healthier tater tot casserole. I know there's really no such thing as a healthy tater tot casserole, but I'll tell you what I do instead. Instead of just a bunch of meat drowning in way too much cream soup, I use just a little bit, like half a can. So that's like 1 big spoon kind of for each. And then to kind of create the rest of that creamy, smooth, you know, taste, I use a big spoon of Greek yogurt, a little bit of light sour cream, and sneak in a spoon of that cottage cheese, y'all. I mean, you know, high protein, good to go, and it's still better than a bunch of cream and mushroom. Plus, I add in half a bag of just mixed veggies. You do not have to do that at all. Of course, there's probably not a whole lot of nutritional value in those frozen mixed veggies, but it's more than just meat and, you know, potatoes. So you mix all that stuff together. Of course, throw in a good layer of shredded cheddar cheese. Top it with your tater tots. I'm going to put some foil over these bad boys and put them in my freezer. After this, let's see, we're going to do, the chicken crock pot. And I've already gone ahead and set aside 1 bag of my cooked ground turkey and onion for the freezer. And this is going to be for the unstuffed bell pepper casserole. So we're moving along, guys. I'm going to put these in the freezer, clean up real quick, and get to the chicken crock pot bag. Okay, guys, I got this thrown together, cleaned up really well because I was dealing with some raw chicken. This is one of my husband's favorite crock pot meals. So in the bottom you can see is just some roughly chopped red potatoes. You could also use, you know, like Yukon Gold potatoes. I wouldn't recommend sweet potatoes for this recipe, but I mean, you know, give it a try. You never know, you might like it. In the middle is a bag of, at this point, I just had frozen cut green beans. Fresh would also be great. And then on the top, I put 3 chicken breasts. Now, as I put in each layer, as I put in the potatoes, I drizzled a little bit of olive oil over it and sprinkled a little bit of ranch seasoning, like the dry packet. 1 packet is good for 1 meal. Same thing, layered the green beans, a little bit of olive oil, seasoning packet, chicken oil, and then I topped it with a couple of pats of butter. For some reason, I have done it without the butter and just the oil, and something about a little bit of butter in this makes it so yummy. So this is going to go in the freezer. It will be a good, quick, easy, semi-healthy crock pot meal. And let's see where we are on our list, guys. Still waiting on our rice to get done to do the unstuffed bell pepper casserole. Still don't know if I have all the cheeseburger casserole things. Got the chicken potato thing done. Got tater tot casseroles done. Still working on the rice. It's in the crock pot. I guess I could do some of the breakfast stuff. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do next yet, guys. I will show you, though. Let me get this big this bag of chicken over here in the freezer, and I will come back with what I decide to do next. I'm getting a little bit tired, so might be at a good stopping point. All right, stay tuned. Okay, I think this is going to be the final thing for the night. I'm still waiting on the rice, which shouldn't be too much longer, and then once that's cooled, I will just take the whole crock pot out and set it aside and put it in the refrigerator, and then tomorrow I will cook with it and bag it up and then freeze it. I decided to go ahead and tackle my breakfast egg cups. They're pretty painless to mix together. I had some ham in the fridge that needed to be eaten, some leftover shredded cheese, and some of those frozen shredded hash browns. I've never put those in these particular cups before, so that's kind of a new addition. Don't really know how it's going to work or not. Just trying to make these egg cups a little bit more hearty for breakfast. So So pretty simple, guys. Mix up your eggs, any of your meats, cheeses, veggies, whatever you got, salt and pepper. I put a little cheese on top, grease your muffin tin, pour it in, bake them. I'll show you what they look like when they come out, and you have seen me do these before for the freezer. All right, stay tuned. Hey y'all, welcome back. Okay, so this is day 2. And hopefully the last day of the freezer meal prepping that I'm going to do. I started on Friday night after work, got quite a bit done as you saw on day 1. Yesterday was Saturday. It was a gorgeous day, and I actually tackled a different project that I've been putting off forever. I kind of have started redoing my kitchen cabinets when we bought this house almost a year ago. Then we got a puppy, and all that just got put on hold. So I took advantage of the good weather yesterday. I sanded and I primed and I painted cabinets. So in this video you will see cabinets that still have doors and some that don't, some that are painted, some that are not. But you know what? It's all good. Today is Sunday. It is raining outside. It's a perfect day to jump on here, finish all the rest of that cooking that I told you I was going to do, get this video out to you guys so you can watch. I am in my Disney apron, you can see, and I have my Haunted Mansion coffee cup. I'm a huge Disney fan, big Disney nerd. If you are a big Disney fan as well, give me a shout out. Let me know what your favorite Disney movie is. Okay guys, I'm going to chug this coffee, put this mess of a hair up in a bun, and we are going to cook. Okay, getting started on our breakfast bagel sandwiches. I put all these bagels in the broiler in the oven and just got them kind of toasted a little bit. I thought it might kind of help with the texture of them for the freezer. And then over here, I have 3 pans of, I'm going to bake eggs. And as you can see, I threw in that turkey bacon that I had already cooked. And I will show you, I'm going to use this cup, this glass. And once the eggs are baked, cut out small circles that will fit for the bagel. So I'm going to get these into the oven, and then we're going to get started on putting together the unstuffed bell pepper casserole. Here we go, guys. Okay guys, really simple for the unstuffed bell pepper casserole. Excuse me, I threw in that 1 pound of ground turkey and onion that you saw me. I prep all my meat, and I do salt, pepper, onion, and garlic just to have a base of a season for the meat. So put that in there. Also about a cup to a cup and a half of rice that I had done in the crock pot. Y'all saw that as well. I divided that up into baggies when that was done and put it into my freezer. 1 chopped bell pepper, 1 can of diced tomatoes. I do get the kind that has the basil and garlic oregano. It kind of gives it that Italian flavor. And this is where I sneak in my extra veggies. So a diced carrot. And here's a good time to go into your freezer, guys, and any partial bags of veggies that you have left over, just dump some of them in. So we're going to add green beans to this one. That's actually quite a bit. And of course, shredded cheese. So I'm going to stir all this together. I'm going to give it some seasonings with chili powder, garlic powder, this Italian mix, some good just cracked black pepper, and we like things a little spicy in our house, so I dash in a little sriracha. I'll get it all stirred up, cover it up, show you what it looks like before I pop it into the freezer. Alright guys, unstuffed bell pepper casserole, great way to sneak in those veggies, and to be honest, as many veggies as we have in here, you could forego the rice altogether, and it will be totally low carb, so how about that? Okay guys, that was super simple to throw together. This is what it looks like. Cover it with full, pop it in your freezer, and it is a really good casserole, and it goes a long way. This makes a lot. This will be dinner and then leftovers, or if in our case we do dinner and then we pack what's left over for lunch the next day. So we do eat it 2 days in a row, but that's usually the limit. That's as far as it'll go anyways. I also wanted to show you one of my other tips for reusing these foil pans. This is a good example I have saved for this video. This is a freezer meal I did a few weeks ago. It is a beef and broccoli low carb bake, cheddar, broccoli, beef, cream, eggs, all that kind of good stuff. But when after it's frozen completely solid, it will pop out into one piece from this tinfoil pan. At which point, I lay it down. I will wrap it up. Wow, it's thundering a lot, guys, today. I'll get this all wrapped up, and then it will fit, and it will slide into one of these freezer bags, and then it goes into my freezer, so it stacks up. It's nice and narrow, and I guess you could say thin, and doesn't take up near as much room. Then when you get ready to actually bake it, you take it out, you unwrap it, and you put it into one of your own glass 9x13 baking pans. Then you bake it. So this guy will get washed and reused for, I guess you could say, freezing purposes only. But that's how I avoid having a whole bunch of foil pans that I cook in and then throw away and then have to buy more. I really don't like doing that. So for example, when this one freezes hard in a day or two, I will pop it out, wrap it up, label it, and put it back into the freezer. And when I get ready to cook it, I will put it into a glass 9x13 baking dish. So that's just my little tip, guys, for cutting down on all the excess foil pans. Use them to freeze your product. Once they are frozen solid, pop the product out, put it in a bag, and then cook it however you would cook it, you know, with your regular cookware. Okay, guys, we're going to get moving now that we've got this done. Let's see, I'm trying to think what's next. Oh, I'm going to do the chicken taquitos. Never done that one before. Watched a lot of videos. Cross your fingers. We're going to see how it goes. And of course, I'm cleaning as I go. I will get these washed here in a few minutes and we're going to keep moving. Okay, guys, I promise we're going to get to those chicken taquitos, but my eggs were ready. So I'm going to go ahead and show you my little station that I have made up right here. We have our bagel. Excuse me, Hagrid. Yes, sir. Thank you. Little bagel station. So as you can see, the cutout of the baked eggs makes a perfect round. And so all these are the rounds. I have pepper jack cheese. I got a bag of these pre-sliced and I sliced them into very small squares since these are small bagels, so they will perfectly fit and there's just no, you know, leftover or waste. And speaking of, I will show you what the pans look like after I cut those eggs out. So you can see there's all this leftover egg and bacon, turkey bacon. This will not go to waste, guys. What you do is you dump all these scrapings into a bowl, ground it up really good, and those can go into breakfast burritos with some cheese and salsa, and it'd be like a breakfast taquito. So none of this will go to waste. I will show you later. This is what we're going to throw in some burritos with, like I said, I think some salsa and cheese. Gonna do like maybe a Mexican type of take on that. So none of this is going to go to waste. If you cook your eggs like this and you go, what do I do with all this leftover? Ground it up, throw it into a burrito, or just ground it up, put into some freezer baggies, and later you can use it for a breakfast casserole or bake, or throw in some, like hash browns. That would be good mixed in all together and then put cheese over it. Maybe I'll do that. I don't know. We'll see. I'll show you guys. Anyways, let me show you really quick for my little station here. So we've got the bagel. We're going to do the egg. Come on. One slice of the cheese. The topper, excuse me, back on. Kind of press it down just a little bit. We're gonna just wrap it up into foil. Now I know I'm gonna be going through foil. I ran out of saran, but I do have some freezer baggies I could also use as well. So these will all get put into a freezer bag, and oh, you know what, guys? Maybe wrap this in a paper towel before you put it in the foil. If you are taking this to work and you're going to need to microwave it, you need something to microwave it in, unless you know you can get paper towels where you work. So anyways, I think that's what I'll do. I'll grab my paper towels. I'll start rolling them in a paper towel first, then the foil. They'll be good to go. Okay, guys, I'm going to get these assembled, get them bagged up. Then we will tackle the chicken taquitos. I promise. Here we go. Moving right along, guys. Got all our bagel sandwiches wrapped up. Those are going to go into the freezer. We are going to do chicken taquitos. And I want to tell you, I have an idea for how you can double do this one type of recipe. Two uses for it. While I'm mixing this up, I'm going to tell you guys my idea. Tell me what you think, if it'll work or not. And then when I actually do test it out later, I'll definitely keep you guys informed. Okay, here we go. Chicken taquitos. All right, chicken taquito making station. I saw on YouTube a tip to cut the edge, just the edge of the tortilla off, so I'll save these and use them for something else. Something about it helps when you roll it up, it stays flattened or whatever. I don't know, we'll see. I also saw how you need to roll them up and put them on a cookie sheet and kind of flash freeze them before putting them into like a freezer bag or whatever. So this is basically the, I had put some chicken in the crock pot last night to cook. Like I said, day one is kind of all my prep for my meats. I get all my meats cooked, and then if I don't get to them till the next day, that's fine. They're ready to go. So shredded chicken, and I put in some taco seasoning mix, a little bit of black pepper, and a couple of spoons of Greek yogurt, just to kind of give it a little bit of a creamy texture. Oh, you know what? Let's put some cheese in this. I'm going to add some cheese to this, and then we're going to roll these up, and I'll show you what they look like when I get them on the pan before I put them in the freezer. Cheese. Yes. Okay, got the taquitos all rolled up. I had only bought one pack of these small flour tortillas. So of course I got to the end of the bowl. I had all this chicken mixture. I'm like, oh, what am I going to do with this? You know, and this is one of those, gather up your fragments, use all those bits and pieces. Don't do anything to waste. So I grabbed a couple of the big tortillas that I used to make the breakfast taquitos with. And I just put a bunch of filling in there, fold it over, and they're going to be quesadillas. Use it up, guys. I'm going to pop these in the freezer. Once they're all nice and frozen, I will put them into Ziploc bags, and into the big freezer they will go. Okay, chicken taquitos and a couple of quesadillas done. Next, let's get those breakfast burritos out of the way, and then I think all my breakfast items will be totally done, y'all. Then we can focus on desserts. Yay, desserts. All right, stay tuned. Okay, guys, moving and cleaning as I go. I'm telling you, I've used these exact same dishes 2 or 3 times now, just since starting this morning. So after you kind of get to a good stopping point, or you finished up a particular freezer item, run to the sink, swish it out with some good hot soapy water, let it sit, or just grab a towel. I have reused the exact few things. So yes, you will have a mound of dishes after your freezer cooking is done, but to minimize it, kind of wash every so often if you can, and then just when you need another bowl for a mix or for a meat or whatever, grab it from your clean drying pile. Don't keep pulling dishes out of the counter. Okay, guys, this is the ground up, all those leftover pieces that you saw from when I did the egg bakes, and then I made the little circles out of them. I have drizzled a little bit of taco sauce in it. I had some of the leftover turkey bacon, and I put a little bit of taco seasoning in it. So this will make it very, you know, Mexican type deal. And I'm going to, of course, add some cheese. So I'm going to roll these up in these burritos, put them on here, put them in the freezer, let them get them frozen. And then, what are we going to do, guys? Are we going to do desserts, or are we going to do tuna cakes? I needed to get the tuna cakes in. I don't know. We'll see. Let's get this done. Okay. Okay, guys, sorry to keep jumping around on you, but I had remembered our friends had given us 6 pounds of ground venison. We love venison, and we never eat it because my husband doesn't hunt. And so I have some of it still in the freezer, but I had cooked up a lot of it yesterday when I was making my ground turkey and my chicken. So I had one of these mixes on hand, so I'm going to mix up the meat and the seasonings and all this, and I'm going to throw it in a freezer bag, and it's going to be crock pot chili. So, you know, I know we're bouncing all around here, but let's get this chili done, and then we'll see what we feel like doing next. I don't know about the tuna cakes, guys. You have to kind of flash freeze those, and right now, all my extra freezer space is being used up for the taquitos and the burritos. So, anyways, we will see. We may have to just skip on through straight to the cookies and the brownies, which will be fine by me. So, let's get some chili in the freezer. All right, chili time, guys. This is 1 pound of cooked venison. I'm going to dump in a can of pinto beans. That's not on this particular, where's my chili box recipe? It's not on this recipe. This is pretty basic, but you know it's chili. You can add whatever you want into it. I'm also going to do a can of diced tomatoes. It does call for 1 can of tomato sauce. And then your spices. Now, these spice packs are for 2 pounds of meat. So I'm only going to do about half of this, because this is only 1 pound of meat. But with adding in the beans and the tomatoes and all that, you know, it's definitely more. It's about half. And this is cute. They said if you like it hot, put in the cayenne pepper. Well, we like it really spicy, so I'm not shy. I'm going to put in this whole cayenne pepper. And then the next round that I make, I'll just put in more. Had a little remnant of cheese left over. Throw that in there. You know what? This is all going to go into a crock pot bag for the freezer. So I'm going to get this mixed up. Oh, it calls for water, doesn't it? Wow, guys. See what I mean? I get in such a hurry. Water. 2 cups of water. Okay, we're going to add some water. Going to put this in a freezer bag. Throw it in the freezer, and it's going to be so good. I love crockpot chili because it cooks all day, and you don't necessarily have to be here to babysit it, and it just soaks up all those seasonings. Chili is always good after it is cooked, and then even like the next day. You know what I mean. So anyways, guys, let me get this mixed up into the freezer, and then I'll decide what we're going to do next. We are making great progress. Oh, I kind of feel like I see the light at the end of the tunnel for this freezer cooking day. All right, guys, here we go. Okay, got the chili mixed up. I do not have one of those little fancy stands, you know, that holds your freezer bags while you fill them. So this is my method, especially if it's for chili or soup. Put your Ziploc bag, kind of roll the top down a little bit into a bowl, and then spoon all your stuff into it, and it kind of works the same. I mean, I might eventually one day splurge and buy those cool stands, but for now, this is my go-to method, and it's pretty easy. All right, guys, I'm gonna get this mixed up. Kind of hard to do this with one hand, and then we will keep moving. All right, guys, good time to sit down for just a couple of minutes while I can wait for some of my taquitos and stuff to freeze up, because I forgot, if I'm going to make cookies, all the burritos and taquitos are on my cookie sheets freezing. So, good time to go ahead and sit down and see where we're at. We've gotten everything done except the tuna croquettes, and I did not have all the ingredients for cheeseburger casserole or lemon squares. But I'm not going to do the tuna croquettes since I did a venison chili. That's kind of in place of what would have been the meal. So basically, we did get our bagel breakfast sandwiches, our breakfast burritos, the egg cups, chocolate chip pancakes, plain pancakes, venison chili, CP, for me that's crock pot, shredded chicken taquitos, did a crock pot full of brown rice. We got 2 tater tot casseroles. We got 1 unstuffed bell pepper casserole. We got the chicken potato green bean crock pot. And lastly is the desserts. We're going to do peanut butter cookies, chocolate chip, double chocolate, and brownie bites. And as you saw before, guys, no shame. Buy the mixes. I mean, I know that's not cost efficient, but they're a little bit over $1 a piece. And if you just don't have all the individual ingredients, it is pretty easy to dump those bags, bake them up, freeze them, and go. So for lunches, for weekend guests, for just late night dessert snackies, you're good to go. So that is kind of my, I guess you could say, cheat as far as homemaking desserts. All right, guys, I am going to go check on those taquitos and whatnot, and if they are ready to go into freezer bags, we will get started on our cookies, and that will be it. Hey guys, here we go. Chicken taquitos look good. Breakfast burritos look good. So here's my idea, guys, with the chicken taquitos. Of course, you know, gonna freeze them and then bake them as you would regular taquitos. But I got to thinking, with the filling and the tortillas and everything, you could easily take these out, let them kind of come to room temperature, defrost a little bit, line them into a baking pan, cover them with like a cream or sour cream cheese sauce and cheese, and they're enchiladas, right? I mean, same concept, right? You know? So that's my idea for double do on these. I may take like half out one day to have for a lunch, and the other half I might bake up with some kind of sauce and cheese and make them an enchilada dish. I don't know. We'll see. That's my idea. Gonna get these into the freezers, or back into the big freezer, I guess I should say. And we are fixing to bake some cookies. Here are all my mixes, brownies, my pans, my bowls, the same bowls and pans I've been using since I started this morning. I've just washed and used and washed and used and washed and used, and it's really helped a lot cut down on the mess. So this is the last thing we're going to do, guys. I'm going to get my oven preheated. I'm going to put all my mixes. I'm going to have a bowl for each one simultaneously. I'm going to mix everything up. Then you start spooning out and bake. So, you know, like multitask here, guys. Don't do one package and then wait and do another package. Do all 3, get them in the oven, and then get them out, let them cool, and then I'll show you how I kind of wrap them up in Ziploc baggies or freezer bags for individual servings. Okay, we are almost done. Yay! Sorry about that, guys. I accidentally pushed the stop button. We have a small pan of brownies, a small pan of peanut butter cookies, and I thought, you know what? Brownies. Let's try these in cupcake tins, right? Because who says you can't? Why not? We'll see how they come out. And they'll be already nice in individual servings, which I love the idea of. So, chocolate chip cookies and the rest of the peanut butter. Now, yes, you could get a lot more out of this dough, these packages, but we like big, soft, chewy cookies, and in order for those to be that consistency, you do have to do quite a large sum for each one. So you could definitely get a whole lot more if you were just doing smaller, thinner, crunchier cookies. So let's get all these into the oven, and then when I free up a cookie sheet, I will get the double chocolate cookies done, and then I'm going to pull everything out of the freezer, everything out. Hopefully I can fit it all on my counter, and I would love to show you guys the fruits of the labor. So if you guys are still here with me, you guys are awesome. I appreciate you watching so much. I enjoy doing this. I remember feeling overwhelmed when I got started, and I just love to binge watch people who could do this, and I took ideas from each person individually and kind of created my own system of things. So almost done. Here we go. Okay, guys, if you are still with me, wow, awesome. We did it. You did it. You followed along. You stuck with me. We are done for today's, you know, freezer, cooking, prep, whatever you want to call it. Keep in mind, I only do this once or twice a month. We do not eat a freezer meal every day. I think that's what people assume. These meals are for when we are sick, when we're really busy, when we just, you know, can't cook, don't want to cook, but don't want to go out to eat. That's what these are for. They serve a different purpose than just, we're just not eating freezer meals every single day. Last week was a perfect example. Monday, I was out all day with a horrible migraine. Luckily, we had a frozen chicken parmesan, pulled it out, put it in the oven. There was dinner for my husband and myself and leftovers for lunch the next day. So this is just an example of how we do our freezer meals. We don't eat one every single day. So anyways, I'm gonna show you the final product. I pulled everything back out of the freezer. That's how much I appreciate you guys watching. I pulled everything back out. I wanna show you what was done. And then kind of also give you a little tip. If you get started or you try to start on this whole freezer cooking thing, here's a little tip I also have. I bought 2 journals. I love Lucy because I love Lucy. When I started doing these things, and as I would test a recipe that I had put into the freezer and then cooked that we liked, it went into this little journal. Lots of things you'll find you don't like. They don't work for you. They don't work for your family. You don't like how they are cooked after they have been frozen. That's a trial and error type of deal. But when you do get started and you find a recipe that you're like, wow, it was a home run, write it down. Trust me, write it down. You will wish that you had. So for example, I have one that's crock pot. So these are all crock pot meals that I have tested that our family likes. And then this one, I can do this, guys, is freezer meals. So I kind of just divided out, and this has been a long kind of journey. There's lots of things I've tried that didn't work for us and lots of things that do. So I have my go-tos. Okay, enough rambling. Let's show you the finished product. And once again, thank you so much for watching. Okay guys, check this out. How awesome is this? It was so worth it to me to take a few hours on Friday and to take half the day today and just have this done. And I won't do this again for another month, give or take. So let's just start really quick with the beginning. This was some of the extra meat that I had talked about. I had saved. This will be used for spaghetti sauces, taco night, whatever. We have 3 bags of the rice I had done in the crock pot. Some of it got used in our recipe. We have a bag of chicken taquitos. We have 2 tater tot casseroles. We have 1 chicken green bean potato crock pot. We have 1 venison chili for the crock pot. We have 1 bake of an unstuffed bell pepper casserole. We have a bag of our egg cup bakes. We have 2 bags of our mini bagel breakfast sandwiches. We have a bag of breakfast Mexican taquitos. We have a bag of our plain pancakes and our chocolate chip pancakes. And lastly but not least, we have our desserts. We have our double chocolate chunk cookies. We have peanut butter cookies. We have our chocolate chip cookies, and we have our brownies. And FYI, the brownies in the muffin tins came out great. They came out perfect. So don't let anybody, if you're ever in a pinch and don't have a brownie pan, use that muffin tin. It really, really worked well. Okay guys, this is it. I thank you so much for watching. I hope some of my tips and tricks help you. And if you have not already, please like and subscribe to my channel. If there's anything other specific you would like to know, questions, comments, things like that, please put them in the box below. I'll do my best to get them answered as quickly as possible. Once again, guys, thanks so much for watching, and we will see you next time.